I remember this happened a while ago. My mom and I stopped into a Walmart to grab some stuff. It was late at night, and I think we were getting back from dropping my sister off at the airport. My mom said that I could get whatever food I wanted, so I went to the snack aisle and grabbed a bag of Doritos and a half and half iced tea. As I'm walking back, this old guy starts talking to me. I realize that he has me confused for somebody else, but I continue talking to him anyway. He then tells me that his cat got very ill, and I said that I was sorry that it was sick. He then proceeded to tell me, in detail, that he had to strangle his cat so it wouldn't die suffering from the illness. I got really creeped out by this and proceeded to tell him that I had to leave. I got out of sight as quickly as I could and ran back to my mom. I was at Walmart with my little brother, and we were in the clothing aisles looking for some shirts to buy for my dad for his birthday. I'm currently 17, and so it was just my little brother, who was 4, and myself going shopping. He was hiding in one of those circle racks that just have enough space in between them for a kid to fit through it. He would hide there for a little bit, and then I would crawl under the rack and grab his feet and spook him, and then he would laugh endlessly until he went and hid in another one. This time, though, I couldn't find him for a while, so I started to get a little worried. I called out, "Marco," because this is how we went and found each other in these stores, and he would respond, "Polo," obviously, and I would immediately find him. Except this time, a gruff man's voice responded, "Polo," and I could hear my little brother, except he was whimpering. I bolted in the direction of the man's voice and came across another one of those circle racks, but it was extending a little bit, as if a bunch of stuff had been stuffed in the space in between it. I pulled the shirts off of the rack and saw this man sitting across from my brother, cross-legged with his pants down, but thankfully not his underwear. My little brother was crying, and at first I had no idea what to do. I realized, by some stroke of luck I guess, that there was an umbrella nearby, so I leaned over and grabbed it with one hand and smacked the man with it, screaming at him to let my brother go. Some of the Walmart employees came over and held the man down while I grabbed my brother, and they later called the police. It turns out that the man had lured my brother by asking him if he'd like to join the man in a game of hide and seek. Thankfully, the man was arrested. I hope I never see him near me or my brother again. This incident happened to my mother about 10 years ago in the Midwest. My mom is a very beautiful and genuinely sweet person, so she tends to attract weirdos sometimes. But we could never wrap our heads around this situation. My mom had been shopping at our local Walmart for about an hour, and after paying for her items, she activated a security alarm at the door. It turns out that she had bought something that hadn't been deactivated at the register, so no harm was done, and she heads out to the parking lot. As my mom is loading her groceries into the car, a Walmart employee walks up to her. He proceeds to tell her that they have a security issue regarding her and she needs to come back inside immediately. My mom just assumes that it has something to do with the alarm going off earlier, and she follows the man back inside the store. She was taken to their security office and asks if she was shopping alone, which she responds, yes. They then showed her some surveillance footage. From the moment my mom walked into the store, a man with a small video camera had been following her and filming her. From the parking lot footage, you could see the man follow her outside, get into a car, and continue to film her. When the Walmart employee walked up to her, the man drove off. The police were called and they were able to run the plates of the man's car. It was from a rental company in a town which was about 2 hours away. I'm not sure why they weren't able to find this guy. Surely a rental company keeps the records of all their customers, right? But regardless, my mom was pretty rattled for a while after this happened to her. So, when I was about 12 or so, I was friends with this girl named Becky. Her mom was really sweet, and she understood that at the time, my home life wasn't very ideal, so she would take me on trips out of town to go shopping. Now, being from a very small town, our idea of shopping trip was going to Walmart. So it was me, Becky, Becky's mother, and another one of our friends. I remember that I was looking at ties because I fancied myself some sort of emo kid at the time, when this very old man beckoned for my attention. He looked to be in his 60s or 70s. Liver spots, a hunchback, pure white hair, the works. He pulls out a wallet and kind of croaks out,
"Excuse me, miss, but could you help me find the price of this wallet?"
So of course, I'm thinking I'll help the guy because why not? So I teeter over and grab the wallet as I'm looking for the price, and he leans over and whispers into my ear,
"You're a sexy girl. You know that?"
I turn around, assuming I must have been hearing things, and ask if he could repeat himself. He says it again and proceeds to grab my arm. I look and see that Becky and the others are nowhere near me, so I bolt in a completely random direction. Eventually, I managed to find the front of the store, so I just waited for Becky's mom to come and find me. When she asked where I went, I explained the situation to her, so we left pretty hastily. I don't think I've ever feared for my safety in such a way before. This happened while I was working for Verizon Fiber Optics as a sales representative. As a sales rep, I contracted to go to various Walmarts, Best Buys, and other electronic stores to sell fiber optics goods to customers. I set up a table with brochures and other goodies to get potential customers' attention. It was a great job. It paid $19.95 an hour. So, on this particular day, I set up a table in the electronics department in Walmart. I had two Hispanic males come over to my table. They both had very heavy accents when they spoke English. Trying to understand them was a bit difficult. Well, one male walked slightly off to the side, and the other male said he wanted to surprise him. Having worked in jewelry stores before, I had many customers slip me their credit card and try to secretly pick something out while their significant other was not looking. So that's what I thought was going on here. The male says, "Hey, come over here to the toy aisle." The toy aisle was one aisle over from where my setup was, but it was out of view from where I was sitting. I say, "Okay." We go to the toy aisle and we are facing each other. I am slightly taller than this man, but he is bigger than me. He tells me I have nice shoes, and I respond with a thanks. I then ask what services he wants to get. He then proceeds to ask where I bought my shoes, and I just respond with, I don't know, some department store. He then goes on one knee and takes a closer look at my shoes. He then grabs me by the ankle very firmly and slips off my laceless shoes and proceeds to massage my foot. He had a very strong grip on my ankle, but I managed to yank my foot away. I yelled, "Whoa, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?" Then I grabbed my shoe from him as he had this sick grin on his face. I walked back to my table and felt so weird and uneasy and just reenacted the events over and over in my head, thinking what I could have done differently. So, creepy guy at Walmart, let's please never meet again.